Hey y'all, Trans Biker Girl here. This is the first face-to-face video, I guess. Um, I wanted to do it for a couple of reasons. First being, I actually need to replace Lamont's battery. I was gonna go take him for a ride earlier and wouldn't start, so I knew this was coming. Already bought the battery, and I thought I'd take y'all through that little bit of maintenance. Thought it'd be fun. Also, you'll notice a little disclaimer. I'm a little stubbly today. It's not a good day. But it's because of laser hair removal. So we're going to be talking about that too. I had my first full face treatment on today is Saturday, and I had it on Wednesday. So it's going to be another few days before it actually falls out. What happens is it gets worse before it gets better. It pushes out and the follicle falls out. This is all dead hair. It just seems like it's growing. It's not. It's rough. I can't really look at myself in the mirror right now. I can't do full face makeup. Just hit the eyes. Bare minimum. Girl has to put on some makeup. Okay. But I'm a little uncomfortable, to tell you the truth. But that's what these chronicle videos are all about. It's about looking at myself then, and then hopefully now meaning the future, when I'm watching these videos, thinking, oh my gosh, look how I've changed. So that's what we're doing here. What I'm going to have to do is, do my little update and then probably change the camera around and stuff like that. But we'll come to that. I also started therapy. This week, I did a lot for me, and that's pretty important. Way more than I've ever done for myself, healing-wise. And that's amazing. I started seeing my therapist, and he is amazing. So the week kind of fucking rocked. Straight up. Matter of fact, kind of really fucking rocked. So today's not so great. I went out with some friends earlier and had a real cute outfit I bought. It's a brunch outfit, I had to deal with this. Can't shave right now. It's a little rough. I don't like getting this stubbly. But as I rub, I see a little stubble on my hand. That's the hair falling out. I see patchy spots. In the next few days, and potentially in the next week, I should be baby faced, and maybe I'll do my makeup real good. And we'll have another video just to see what that looks like, because you're probably looking at me thinking, gods, she is hideous. Just kidding. Maybe not that rude, I'm sure. Doing a lot of talking, right? So let's get started. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take a new battery. It's for ATVs, motorcycles, potentially jet skis, golf carts. It can be used for a number of things, but it's a maintenance-free battery. And what that means is you shouldn't have to ever adjust the acid levels in it. It does come prepackaged acid that you have to actually add to the battery. And it's not that hard. I'll show you how to do it. Super simple. Then we're going to charge the battery for a while, and then we're going to install the battery. So it's going to be fun. I hope. If not, well, you probably will never see this video, but bear with me just a second. Okay, so what we've got here is the battery. It's an AC Delco and a charger, a battery tender. It's really important that when you charge these batteries, you do it completely, because if you don't do a good charge the first time, you could potentially ruin the battery, meaning it will never hold a charge as strong as it would have had you done it correctly. And that's where this guy comes in. You plug it in, you hook it up, and it has a light on it. When it's charging and fully charged, the light will turn green, and it'll keep it charged. And if it starts to drain, it'll keep it charged back to 100. So it's important to have a smart charger, something that is going to keep the charge correct. All right, so what's in this box? Oh, it's exciting. Okay, so in a separate little box here, we have electrolyte for battery. It is sulfuric acid. You need to be very careful with this. It can burn you for life. So be very careful. Now, you also have instructions. I suggest you read these. They are very important. What you're really going to want to do first is pull this off. You'll notice that each bottle is individually sealed, and that is important later. You also want to save this. This seals the battery when you're finished. So we'll put that aside. And that's it for that box. It's like Christmas. Okay. We also, well, let's just pull this whole thing out. The battery, very heavy. So, let's get this out of the way. Throw it over there, like you don't care. Okay. So what we have here is all the hardware taped to it. You're gonna need these screws later. So, no, didn't give you a push pin in this one. Sometimes it'll give you a push pin because you're gonna need to puncture this, and I'll show you why here in a minute. This is everything you need for the connections when you're actually hooking this thing up. Okay, put that over here for now. So, make sure you read your warning labels. You can look on YouTube. There's tons of helpful videos on this. That's where your girl found out how. So we're going to peel this back. And what you'll notice here is very familiar looking holes. And on the inside, you see sort of sharp looking spearish dealios. And that's the safe way to do this. It punctures these and it shoots out for you. So, this is the scary part, because this is where it potentially goes sideways. But if you're careful, you should be okay. And we're going to be careful. So, if I'm going to be safe, I am going to get my gloves. These are my tactical gloves that I will wear to go shooting or paintballing or airsofting or riding. They're good riding gloves. They're mechanics, impact. I like them, but today they're not going to help me from sulfuric acid. Matter of fact, they might hurt. It's probably not a great idea. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, it's a terrible idea. If you have the right kind of gloves, then the acid can't hurt you. But what we're going to do is have a towel standing by to wipe off excess liquid. And I've got a sink real close that I can wash my hands with. But this is the scary part. Now, once again, you see all this dangerous stuff. This is nothing to mess with. Excuse me. That's my reminder for my fiber pills. Okay, so we're going to line it up. We're going to put it on top. We are going to puncture. And when you start seeing the bubbles, you know you did it right. It sure looks punctured to me. Now, a trick I saw in another YouTube video. Boom, 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 boom. Well, that's the wrong song, but Star Wars, it's cool. I'm going to put it over here for now. Something I saw on a YouTube video which will be very helpful, here we go, is if you poke holes okay, if you poke holes, I want to make sure it was actually draining, it's going to actually help it drain a little bit better. Be very careful when you do this. Because, once again, it is acid. So we're going to let this drain for a little bit, because to properly drain, you have to let it, gravity feed. We're not going to squeeze it. We don't want it shooting back out. There's cells inside of here in different partitions that fill up and allow the current to travel through it evenly and discharge in a manner consistent with a long life battery. I don't know what I'm talking about, as you can clearly see. So what we're going to do is let this drain for a minute, and I'll be back. And at the end, if you want to kind of give it a little squeeze to make sure, you'll be okay. I want to clarify a few things. I feel like I was a little vague earlier. When I took off the gloves, it was because if you don't have the right kind of gloves that are protecting you from the acid, if I get this on the glove and then struggle to take the glove off, it could potentially leave worse chemical burn than had I not had the glove on and just ran to wash my hand quickly. And so that's why I took the gloves off. I felt it was safer without them. Also, to note, if you do spill acid on your hand or anywhere, a quick remedy for that is baking soda. You can pour baking soda on it and it neutralizes it immediately. So if you get it on your hand, just immediately splash it on your hand. You can also pour a little water if you need to clean it up. I forgot to mention that earlier. It was over in the corner. I pulled it out. I just forgot to tell you about it. And then a rag, because once you neutralize the acid, it's not going to burn anything at all. So, where are we at? Well, this is sort of a dangerous part here. And that's because when you pull this bottle off, there's residual drops in here that just aren't going to come out. So we are going to be very, very careful when pulling this off. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to turn this bottle on its side, because if you remember, I poked holes in it. And those holes, if I turned it upside down, would be leaking acid. So we don't want to do that. So, now you see we have these holes exposed. That's where this comes back into play. You really just want to fill the holes with it. And you don't want to use anything to push them in other than your thumb. And you have a sealed, properly filled, measured battery. So the only thing we have left to do is charge it. And we are going to, well, that's not the only thing left we have to do, but that's what we're going to do now, is charge it. And then we will install it later. So we are going to get our battery tender out. You see it's got its own thing. Is that light I was telling you about. The light will be, I think, red while it's charging and turn green when it's fully charged. So let's go ahead and unband it. This turned into an unboxing video real quick. I apologize. I should have been more organized, but I wasn't, and you're going to deal with it. So what you've got is a connector, and what you need to do is connect them. We want this connector because it is the kind of connector we want to use with the little clippies, clippy clips. No rude jokes, please. I'm sorry. If you could tell, I'm a little uncomfortable. It's been a good day, good week, good weekend so far, but I don't know. I don't feel right today. So I'm making a video of doing this. So just plug it in. Make sure you're secure. And we are ready. So before we plug these in, you are going to want to look. The plus is positive. The minus is negative. I'm sorry, I didn't need to say that. What I needed to say is red is positive and black is negative. So before we plug this thing in, we are going to go ahead and hook those up. We're going to hook this one up here. We are going to hook this one up here. Make sure we're secure. Good to go. And then I'm going to plug this in. I have that right here. I guess I was wrong. Oh yeah, okay. Red light. Red light means charging. Green light means charged. So, we are charging. I would highly recommend you not touching both of these at once. That could be very, very bad for you. That's how you charge. That's how you fill and charge your battery. Properly disposing of this acid container is important. What I'm going to do is I'm going to neutralize the acid with some baking soda first, and I'm going to rinse it out with water. And then I'm going to throw it in the garbage can, because once you do that, it is inert and nobody's problem but the garbage man's. So that's it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the video, allow this to charge. It should take about 4 hours. Like I said, you do not want to undercharge these the first time. You could ruin the battery. So wait till that little light turns green. Always use a smart charger. Never use a car battery charger or a trickle charger for like one of those old antique cars, unless it's a smart one that you can adjust the amperage on. And if you look at the amperage here, I believe this is a 14 amp battery. I don't know, it's something like that, but you want to divide it by 10. What you get then is 1.4, so you never charge it, or you try to charge it at 1.4 amps, but never charge these above 3 amps. I think this charger does at 1.5 amps. I'm not sure. 750 milliamps. You know what? I'm boring myself. I'm probably boring you. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this charge for a little bit. It's going to take into the evening. When I come back, I hope to feel better, a couple cocktails in, and in a beautiful evening dress, because it will be after 6 and I am not a farmer. So I love you guys. I will be right back. So hey, we're back. I had to let that battery charge overnight because I was hoping that it would charge in about 4 or 5 hours, but it took closer to 12, so I went ahead and went to bed. So we had some brunch activities today, which was fun. There's a whole lot of good times with good people, which was especially tough because not one of those good people gendered me correctly, while they tried and usually caught themselves, you know, they would slip up, and I guess I'm not giving them a lot to work with right now. You know, on the front of the laser hair today, still no real results. It just seems like it's growing, but I still feel like I can't shave it. It's a little tender, so rough day so far, even though I've had a few drinks. So let's go ahead and get this video started. No more of that depressing-ish. We're gonna feel better, okay? Fuck the haters. Alright, so the battery's charging. Right now I got a green light, which means the battery's good to go. But first, we need to get this seat off so we can expose the other battery. So, I've got a number 10. I don't know what your bike will use. Most of these, this battery change isn't just going to work on a Honda. It's going to work just about on any Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Harley, I mean, anything. I think this is going to work. As long as you're using the right tools. So you've got this one bolt in the rear. They call it, I think, the passenger seat bolt. There's a grommet underneath. Put that aside. Then get your Allen wrench, and you have two bolts on the side here. We are just gonna
crack. And then take out. Nope, need a little bit more. So yeah, like I said, it's almost harder with good people because you know they think they're doing really well. One thing I get a lot is, you know, they're talking to my wife and they'll say something like, "Oh, we're worried about you, Danny. He's gonna be fine." And I'm thinking in my head, well, wrong on both accounts. And we get that a lot, so that's something I would like to stop. I mean, I understand what they're saying, but they don't know clearly anything about me because, you know, most days I'm not okay. Hiding for so long allows you to put up a front and be good at it. And honestly, I'm tired of being good at it. So that's why I'm a little upset today. But we're gonna get through that. I had to finish this video because you know, it's getting on Sunday evening, and I've got to ride this. Lamont's gonna take me to work all week, so I had to get this battery up and running. Something was going on with this bolt. It seems like it might have not even been connected properly in the first place. Well then, the seat's loose. So, we're done there. Just put it off to the side. I'm gonna take out this bolt. I'm not sure why it's being so difficult. See, I'm sorry if I'm seem like I'm being, you know, drama queen. Just trying to be honest and, you know, look back on my bad times so when the good times I could be like, oh wow, that was silly, wasn't it? That's really what I'm looking to do. And I'm really hoping on, as soon as a couple months from now, looking back on these videos and thinking, oh, look how far I've come. But it's a process, and as some of you know that have gone through and are going through this process, you want things to happen quicker than they happen. Like right now, as we're talking, I'm realizing it's I'm not even trying to control my voice at all because, you know, that'll come in time. There's so much I'm trying to worry about that really switching my voice around, that's something that causes a lot of dysphoria too. So, sorry I'm talking so much. Sorry if this video is a bummer so far. I don't want it to be. I want this to be informative, so find people can learn how to change your batteries too, because it's really not that hard. It's something that people pay money for, and you really shouldn't be. It's something anyone can do. All right, so we've got it. So in here, you'll see some wiring harnesses and basically your everything that comes with a motorcycle. So you have one little bolt here that's holding this harness in here. I have my drill. Go ahead and loosen that. Pull that out. So now this should come right out of there. And it is. Okay. So you just kind of move that aside, and you're going to also want to remove this. So, I think they say remove the negative first. That's what we're going to do anyway, is remove the negative first. So, pull out the bolt, then goes to the side. Now, don't touch the bike when you're pulling out this because it is grounded and you don't want it to be. So, pull it out. Never touch both sides. You know that. Never touch both connectors of a battery. Even these older ones that seemingly have lost charge, they're still very dangerous. So be very careful when you're doing this. So, I've got both of those out. Move them off to the side, and then this is going to lift out, ideally. It's been in here so long, though, that it's having issues. 1 second here to figure out why. I think it's something as simple as it's stuck. I don't know. I'm gonna pause this video real quick and figure out how I get this out so you don't have to watch me fiddle with this. It should come out, I'll let y'all know. Hold on. Okay, so it really was just really tight in there. There wasn't any more bolts in there. It was just, it's a real tight fit and it's been in there for a while. So I took the battery out and I removed these little nuts that slide into the connectors, which are what hold those connectors in place. So now that that's out, it really is as simple as this. First, unplug your battery tender. 2, unhook negative first, then positive. Now you got yourself a live battery. Pick it up and be careful. It is filled with acid, although it is sealed, and it is fully charged and hot. Make sure you're careful with these connectors here, especially when you're reconnecting them. Before you put it in, do what I was about to forget to do, and that's put these little nuts in here right under the connectors. And if they don't fit, don't worry, the new one came with new connectors. So, let me open that real quick. Pause them. Okay, so take those, slide it in, slide it in. Wouldn't it have been funny if I tried to slide both of them in at the same time? You'll watch me shock myself. No, it wouldn't have been funny at all. It would have been horrifying. What did she do? Okay, so now I'm just gonna drop it in, and it fucking just slides in there beautifully. So, it really differs on how I hear people say to do this. But, for the most part, it's worked well for me. 2, connect the positive first, and then the negative. I've never had any adverse effects with that. However, some people say connect negative first. I really don't know the school of thought either way. I know that it hasn't mattered for me. So there's that. If any of you know, feel free to comment. I'd like to know the proper way to do it if I can. Okay, did I get it? No, didn't get it. So make sure it's seated properly. Oh, I was going the wrong way. That's my fault. So we are tightened in there. Make sure your drill's going the right way. And make sure it's on low torque so you don't destroy anything. Okay, so now that's done. Now we got to hook up the negative. Now remember, once this is hooked up, your bike is live. Don't do anything silly. So, same deal. Let me get that on the connector. This is the part where you need 3 hands because, you know, let's just be helpful. Nah, I'm just kidding. If you have a magnetic drill, that'll work too. Okay. So, we are live. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop that garage door open. And we're gonna see if Lamont will start. So, I'm gonna go ahead and flip the switch. And the lights come on.
how you fill and charge a battery. After that, all you do is put this cover back on, which protects your battery box. It's just your main wire harness. And you're really good to go. The process of reattaching the seat's fairly simple. That's not the right thing. So, you know, sorry to be woe is me for a little bit. Yeah, this is my transition channel, so clearly I'm gonna be as honest as I can, always. So today wasn't a particularly good day. I'll let y'all know that, but I still needed to get this video out because I felt like mainly understanding what you're gonna get when you do the laser hair removal is important. It's not gonna be immediate. You're gonna have to deal with stubble, and it's really bothering me. It's coming out, and I can see it like right now. If I do this, I've got stubble coming out, but I don't know. Hey, it's dysphoria. What are you gonna do? So I'm gonna finish putting the bike together, and I'm gonna go for a little ride. Maybe I'll film it, maybe I'm not. But you know, I hope this helped some of y'all, and hopefully I can look back on this at some point and realize how silly I've been. But I really appreciate you watching. Like I said, I'm gonna continue working on this channel, whether people watch or not. So it would be really cool if you continued to do it. But if not, you know, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Be safe out there. Love yourselves, please. All right.